How do you heal? My sister once told me that my photographs saved her life. I still remember the time of day like it was yesterday. The sun had just melted into Boston's cold sky when that phone rang. I was 19 years old, and I was the first family member that she ever told that she was raped. Not just once, but twice during her college years. As a younger sister, I wanted to be there for her, to be her healer, to be her protector. But my throat just filled with this unbearable silence. I remember searching for clues. How could this happen? What could I do? My mind just kind of spiraled into a roller coaster ride. Silence. I stood in that silence for about a year until I lived with my sister in a small apartment in West Philadelphia. She had transformed into a healing sanctuary. Every nook, every corner had healing moments. From her refrigerator to her bathroom mirror, she had affirmations everywhere. She even had an altar in the middle of her bedroom. And I could see for the first time how much her rape and her therapy sessions had impacted her. I asked her if I could document her healing process. I was really deeply saddened by what I was witnessing, but I was also in awe because I was witnessing one of the most courageous acts I've ever seen, the healing process. This is one of the first photographs I've ever took. I went on and took like 100 of them, a drawing that my sister took during her therapy session. I took photographs of her in her yoga classes, at the gym, as she was struggling with an eating disorder, a product of the rapes. I took photographs of her spiritual baths, even her first date of her now husband, and her evolution as an activist. I remember the weight of it all, capturing her healing, immersing myself into her world. I then turned the camera onto myself and photographed my own healing process. That was my own way of getting professional help for the first time and begin my healing process. My sister and I took the intimate photographs and her journal writing and transformed it into a multimedia performance called Soars, a Story Rape Survivor. And when we did this, we expanded our sisterhood with this beautiful cast of Black women and femme, artists and singers. And we toured around the country 2 decades before the Me Too movement. See, there were lots of people that came to us after these performances while we were on tour. Some were survivors, some were professors, some were college roommates. What we learned from that is that even before coming on a college campus, they've experienced sexual assault. I learned that a broader truth of this all, that 1 in 3, we know 1 in 3 women, right, have experienced gender-based violence in her lifetime. And that 61% of all sexual assaults happen under the age of 18. For this reason, we had to begin working with girls. specifically one of the most vulnerable groups of girls, Black girls. How do you heal? When I asked Black girls, or girls that we're working with, this question, I became a student again, just like I was with my sister's healing process. The girls exposed me to a whole new world of play. I got to see for the very first time a world and reimagine without violence. See, play as a form of healing is a process of getting us free. For play with Black girls, it's not just about fun and games. It is about reclaiming their childhood in a world that sees them as adults. Georgetown Law came out with this study around Black girls that I really, really resonated with, and said that even at the age of 5, so that's preschool age, they see Black girls as adults, that they need less support and that they need less nurturing. For this very reason, I just really wanted to look at the relationship between play and healing with Black girls. And for this reason, I had to do what I do. I had to go and photograph them. My first invitation, photographing our girls, was also an invitation into their homes. I got to photograph the rites of passage for Black girls living on the west and south side of Chicago, called the send-offs. See, send-offs, oftentimes my girls describe it as even better than the prom itself. I myself, before prom, I had 2 people at my house, my mom and my date. But for send-offs in Chicago, there would be hundreds of people there, lined up, waving their hands high, yelling, "Period," as she comes out and makes her grand entrance. Oftentimes, you're just trying to get a sneak of her before she comes out. See, send-offs, porches are transformed into stages, and sidewalks are transformed into runways. For that girl is seen. I remember my girl saying, being seen is healing. For in a world that often invisibilizes Black girls. Send-offs also offers like a community healing, a new narrative for communities that are only told through violence. It offers a public gathering for people, for neighbors to come together and celebrate the Black girl in all her glory. I still kind of had to go deeper with this idea about play and healing. And it made me return to my own memories as a child. I grew up in Trinidad and Tobago, a place where my mother, as she was going through her healing, sent us to live with my dad. For Trinidad is a place that literally pauses for play. Classrooms are empty, roads are closed, even divorces are postponed. True story, my aunt, I swear. For one of the biggest festivals in the Western Hemisphere, Carnival. I like photographing mukujambis. These are people on stilts. Muka means healer, and jambi is a West Indian term that means spirit. They're kind of seen as the protectors of the land. And muka jambis, when they're children, they become monuments, forcing you to look up at them and gaze up, just like I did with my sister's healing process. For in Trinidad and Tobago, I learned that a country can heal through play. After photographing my sister's healing process and now working with our girls in my nonprofit organization that we created called Long Walk Home, and photographing them, I realized it's not just how you heal, but actually it's how we heal. I kind of had to go back to the beginning. My sister at her altar in that Philadelphia apartment where I put healing on the pedestal. I wanted to put Black girlhood on the pedestal. I co-created and collaborated one of the largest art projects of my career, the Black Girlhood Altar. It's an altar with artists and families, and it's dedicated to the missing and murdered Black girls. How do we heal? See, that video is 27 years of making, 27 years of me researching how do we heal. I've learned from my sister's healing process in choosing how to heal that an individual has the potential to heal us all. I want us to take that one in. That that healing doesn't happen alone. That it needs our tribe, our sisterhood, our siblinghood, and community. It needs us all.